Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're gonna do a February update of the ceiling fans in our house because some things have changed. Some new fans in the bedrooms, which we'll go through in this video. So I'm hoping this video is not too long. We're starting it off with the Alec Boston 1300mm. You've seen this many times. I am gonna run through it on all speeds because it's a bit dusty. Some people like to see that. It still runs the same as last video though. And it's actually starting to get a bit warm in here anyway, so good time to start recording the ceiling fans. So this Alec Boston still runs the same as last video. It's quite fast on lows, you can kind of see. It's not really like one of those nostalgic lows that you used to get on the other older fans. Okay, speed 2. This fan probably will be cleaned just after summer or something like that. I don't know when. It all depends how busy I get. This fan, I think I've said it before, gets used so much every day. Even not in summer, because Holly sleeps in the lounge. It moves enough air, which is good. Speed 4. Yeah, as I said, we're going to try and make this video as short as possible because I did film this video and it was too long. So now this is kind of like a retake of it. Five. They seem to sell a fair few of these at Bunnings, although not as much as some other fans. Well, I guess these are just, they're not exactly cheap. They're $229, so you get what you pay for, I guess. It should last more than 5 years, hopefully. Otherwise, it wouldn't be really working for a good enough period of time. Yeah, that's high speed. I'll just leave it on there for a second so you can see it. It actually hasn't run on high for a little bit, so I might actually leave it on high. And then we'll go to the next ceiling fan. I know I said next ceiling fan, although this is not, I guess you could call it a ceiling fan, because it does go in the ceiling, but this one's in the wall. It's the Deta exhaust fan, DX250. Here it is running. I haven't really done any maintenance to it. I haven't even cleaned it recently, as you can see. Oh, bearings are starting to give it noise. Bit of crunchy grindiness in there. Probably should clean it, take it out of the wall, but I'm not doing that right now. It's gonna take too long to stop. Now some things have changed in the bathroom. This Alec no longer works because it's unplugged, because we've now got this heat lamp exhaust fan, this IXL Tastic Mirage fan. We've had it installed because that's what we wanted. There's the light. Has a motion sensor built in. You can buy these at Bunnings. Oh, that flicker effect is terrible. Let's get rid of the flicker effect. The fan, it uses 3 blades, the rounded ones. Oh, it's already getting a bit dusty. I've already had it for a week. There's a fan in there. Trust me, there's a fan in there. Look at that, it's already getting dirty. Oh, we've only had it for, it was installed last Friday, so we've only had it for about a week. We'll turn the light off and put the heat lamps on. These are infrared lamps. Alright, let's see if we can see the fan in there. There you go. It doesn't use the same blades as the Alec, like those more kind of rectangular blades. It uses the oval ones. Oh, that's made my phone so hot. We'll leave the heat lamps on for a second. That way you can just suck out the heat. I can't believe it's already dusty. I'm gonna have to clean that. These things are going to be a nightmare to clean, and the reason I say that is because you can't really access the fan without taking all the bulbs out and everything, so That's gonna be so annoying. Anyway, I have no idea about the spin down, although it sounds like it's quite long. I can't really see. So yeah, that's the IXL Tastic Mirage. In my bedroom, I have this, well, you've seen it many times, so I don't need to explain what it is, but it's Mistral anyway. I use it on the regular, like 24/7 basically. Besides when I go out sometimes. Most times I just leave it on anyway. It depends how long I'm going out for and what the temperature is. This fan's now on 5-speed control here. It was for the brass Mistral, but now it's over here. The fan, the reason I had the electrician swap the controller is because the 3-speed one, low was fine, medium was fine, but the jump from medium to high was so much, so I didn't really like it. I needed something a bit faster for nighttime, so I decided to go with that 5-speed control instead. And the house is actually warming up, so I'm going to leave it on after this video. So that's low. That's about the low you'll get from it. It's really nice. We'll go speed 2. This is my kind of like overnight speed that I use it on. It's kind of the same as the medium that was here before, although I haven't really used it on actual medium on the 5-speed control yet, because we sleep with the air conditioner on a lot because the house tends to stay hot, but outside's really cool. So that's one of the annoying things. So that's the speed I sleep with it on overnight. Chevy seems to enjoy that speed, although he doesn't really mind fans blowing directly on him. Sometimes he likes that. So this is another speed I would use it on. I'd use it on all the speeds overnight, but since the air conditioner's on, we tend to have it set quite low so that it freezes the house. It does have a start-up sound, kind of, if you can hear it. Either way, it blows lots of air, this Mistral, that's why I'm keeping it here. I should actually probably use it on speed 3 more often. That's nice medium. Speed 4. It's very quiet, although sometimes it does make a bit of bearing noise, which can be a bit annoying because it's a bit like crackly and not really grindy. It's just more kicking around dust in there or whatever. I try to keep the top of the motor as clean as I can. So while the blades appear dusty, the top of the motor actually isn't that bad. I try to keep the dust out as much as possible. And then high speed just blows lots and lots of air. So there's no plans to replace this fan. Even if I needed to, I would just put up one of my other collection fans that has the has a plug on it. So yeah, that's brown 1530-2 Mistral. I'm going to leave it on low. Here we got this cute little United Star USCF. I forgot the rest of it. Where's the label? I think it's a little dirty, although I haven't really used it, going to be completely honest. And you might be questioning why. Why bother having it installed if you're not going to use it? Well, that's a good point. But the new fan I got to replace the brass Mistral has kind of superseded the needs for this having it here, so it's kind of like no dust on it whatsoever. Either way, this will be its first test run in a while because I haven't really ran it like at all this. I don't think I've ran it at all this year. Whoops. What's that noise? Oh, I don't know. As you would probably remember if you've seen my last video, this thing is very fast. I should probably start using it a bit more often, actually. However, I might actually swap have electricians swap the control anyway, because it's I'd like a slower low, if that makes any sense. Oh, this low's not too bad. Very fast. Moves lots of air. We'll cycle through all the speeds. But yeah, I only really used this thing after I got it, then I just stopped using it because, well, one of the main reasons is it's quite loud the higher up the speeds you go, which is fine. But also, we have the air conditioner on so much that I don't have the need to use it. because it literally freezes the room to the point I wear long pants to bed in the middle of a bloody hotter than 30-degree days. So that's the problem. That's why a lot of the fans don't get used unless they're that, because I can turn it down to a nice nostalgic low where it doesn't make the bed too cold, but enough to circulate the cool air around the room. That's why the brass mixer got replaced, because it's too noisy, like kept clunking and everything, and like I can't sleep with that. So gotta do what's best for me in these circumstances. I still have the fan. It'll just sit down the shed for a bit, like the sea breeze. You'd remember the sea breeze that used to be there. Yeah. I mean, that's nice air. That's freezing cold air. And it's hot air in this room. Maybe I should use it on this speed more often, eh? It's awesome. The electrician thought it was cool. And that's hot, and it's moving tons of air. You wouldn't want to put anything into the blades while it's running. Anyway, sorry, I haven't run in a while. I'm obsessing over the fan. Anyway, that's the United Star USCF. I don't know the rest, I forgot. Now the other fan for my room, this Ventair Stanza. I know what you're thinking, it's very modern, and to be honest, I actually like it. It kind of reminds me of an older school fan, but also it's quite unique in its own ways, and this way being one of them. That's the pitch. It's like heaps. When you look at it from a distance, it's like so curvy. It's really cool. Another reason I chose this fan is that it's nice and powerful. I mean, it doesn't exactly spin very fast. It only does 190 RPMs. However, it certainly moves air to make up for that RPM loss. I think it's getting dust on the edge of the blades already. There's a few things to note about it, which is cool. Number one, which that's not the default canopy it comes with. That I put on there. And this is also a 2020 version. Even though I ordered it in December 2025, I got it from Queensland. It was a lighting store, but they must have had old stock because I got 2020 version, which is fine. I love this one. It's really cool. It does exactly what I wanted it to, and yeah, there's actually a fair bit I want to talk about this fan too. Number one is it claims it uses high quality Japanese ball bearings. I think that's true because I've spun this thing up by hand and it makes no noise at all. Whoops. Yeah, the bottom covers a twist lock, so that's what the sticker is. I should probably take the sticker off, but I forgot to do it because it's just been running. It's been running for days like this thing. Here's the control. It doesn't have a low speed. Well, the word low anyway. It has eco, which is that option. Eco, I'm pretty sure it's kind of a marketing term, but kind of true. I think it means that the fan can spin slowly, use low power, but move a significant amount of air. In which brings me to kind of a lie by Ventair. No offense, Ventair, but it's kind of a lie. You guys say this thing moves a gentle breeze on low for winter. Hate to break it to you, but it kind of doesn't. It moves too much air for low. Not unless you install this thing like really high up where you can barely feel it, then it might be alright, but it moves too much air for low, to be honest. It's quite aggressive on low. It moves so much air on low, in fact, that I only use it on eco. I actually haven't used it on any other speeds. I've tested it on other speeds, but I actually haven't used it overnight or anything. Because there's been no need. It literally just moves the perfect amount of air. That clicking noise you keep hearing is my dream catcher by the window. It's actually blowing it around. So I'm not sure if the camera's picking up the air movement. However, it's enough to keep bashing the blinds and everything in the dream catcher. So, yeah. That's eco. Medium. The speeds are kind of fairly close to each other, so low speed's a bit fast. It is well balanced. It does 11,900 cubic meters per hour of air movement. This is just medium. It moves as much as the Clipsal Airflow DC in the shed, which is 12,000 cubic meters per hour. It's just the only difference is that Clipsal Airflow DC spins at 210 RPM, I think it was. Yeah, so the blind's down at night, so you don't often hear that rattling. This fan has been dead silent for me, like completely honest. It's just been dead quiet. There's no noise to it at all. The only noise I did pick on when it was installed was the canopy. When the electrician installed it, was too far pushed up against the ceiling, so it I think he used Blue Point connectors to join the wires, not the what's it called, the Wago style connectors, because he said he doesn't trust them. I think they were just tapping on the canopy, because it does have a bit of vibration, because as does anything that spins. So yeah, that's the air movement. It's really good. This fan, it is AC, it's not DC. And I don't think it's reversible. I know there's a video on YouTube and people asked in the comments if it's reversible. I don't think it is. I can't find a reverse switch. And none of the specs mention reversible, so I'm going to assume it's non-reversible fan. Which is fine, but if you're looking for something that spins in reverse for winter, I probably wouldn't go for this because it moves too much air on low. Either way, that's really nice. I did turn it off for a few hours today, give it a bit of a break with the Mistral, because since the Mistral's on all the time, it does make a bit of bearing noise. But overall, I'm happy with this fan. I'd probably rate it a 10 out of 10, I guess. Because I don't have any problems with it. There's nothing really I can pick on besides the air movement. But I also do understand that it's a fan and it is supposed to move air. So I'm not really going to be too picky about how much air it moves on certain speeds, because it's doing its job perfectly fine. So that's the Ventair Stanza. Overall, I like this fan a lot. And yeah, I hope it continues to work perfectly fine for me in time to come. The next fan, before I actually show the fan, I'm going to show this because it's very interesting. So, as you can see, all these, the information. This fan is a DC ceiling fan, which when I show it to you, you're not going to think it's a DC fan because how fast it spins and everything. But yes, it actually is a DC ceiling fan. But it also has so many fault protection things. Like, look at all this. This is really cool. So much fault protection. There's your cleaning and maintenance. There's everything else about this fan. There's not too much to say about it. It does have 6-year warranty, which I really do like. Here's the assembly instructions. They're kind of unclear because the blades, when the electrician was putting them on, we weren't sure if it goes underneath the molding or on the top. However, we did work out that it goes on the top. So anyone looking to assemble this fan, it actually goes on the top. Safety information. I guess that's really it. I guess that's the instructions. And here is the fan. Really cool blade design. They are not plastic. The body and everything is plastic. However, the blades are actually, I think it was passive coated steel or something like that. It made representation of that somewhere. It might have powder coated steel, I'm not sure. But yeah, they're actually pretty thin, but well balanced, to be honest, unlike most industrials out of the box. This fan doesn't call itself an industrial, though. However, I call it industrial because how fast it is. It's got metal blades. It only has 3 speeds, though, and it's reversible up there, that black switch. Alright, so it uses this wall control, which is allegedly DC wall control. It doesn't have a capacitor. It uses some sort of small module in the back. I actually inquired to Lumio and asked, and they claimed that it sends either a DC signal or DC voltage up to the fans. I actually have no idea. The only thing I'd complain about this is that low is speed 3 and 1 is high. Medium's just medium. And since it's being a DC fan, it takes a minute to turn on. Has nice pitch on the blades. But yeah, it takes a minute to start up, so which you'll see here. That clunk you heard is normal. It just has received the command and now it's going to turn on. It also has a soft start. I think it just slowly increases the voltage, unlike some other DC fans which kind of ramp up the speed pretty quick. This one does it really slowly. The only complaint I'd have is that the speeds are very fast, because this thing's 260 RPM. Low is 105. So it's a bit much. But it does get the job done nicely. And it is a pretty cool fan, if you ask me. These are sold at Bunnings for $110. I think I'm one of the first people to get them because I got it December last year. However, I do believe that the company only released them in November, and not many had sold, so I probably got one of the first ones they released, so I hope it turns out to be okay. If not, we'll just test out their 6-year warranty, which they claim covers receiver and the wall control, so we'll have to see about that. Either way, this fan does not come with a light, and I don't think there's an option for a light. I have no idea. They've only got like 3 model fans on the market so far, because it's a relatively new company. Alright, switching between speeds, it does shut off for a second. Okay, clearly not from low to medium, but it does from medium to high. I have to be careful because it does blow everything around. It does do a bit of creaking. I think the body of it is made of ABS plastic, I think, which is really lightweight, this fan. Like, it doesn't weigh much at all, but it moves tons of air for what it is, which is really awesome. This thing, I would consider it industrial, like, as I said before. It's industrial grade. They claim it's professional trade approved, which I'm not really sure how that works, because it's a new company. It probably hasn't really been trialed yet. Either way, that's lots of air. You're getting the industrial feel, you're getting the industrial draft, you're getting everything, really, that an industrial fan does. Basically, this thing is like a Clipsal airflow. Like this, it's just a lot quieter, and it's a lot lower, lower cost to run, because it's only 3.7 watts to run on low. Huh, it didn't shut off this time. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it normally switches off itself, but then, yeah, that's high speed. It does make ticking. I think it's just the ABS body creaking. That's a lot of air movement from this thing. The reason I chose this fan was not only because it's industrial and kind of looks like an industrial, it also resembles anything else an industrial does. So, like, it moves the same amount of air, it runs like an industrial, it's got the speed, it has everything. The only thing is that it costs less to run, and it looks different, that's all. It uses good quality bearings too, but it takes a while to spin down. I'm not concerned about that ticking noise because it kind of sounds more creaky than it does actual mechanical. I think it should be okay. Yeah, if anyone's looking for a review of this fan, because there's no reviews on anywhere, I'd recommend it. It seems to be okay so far. Haven't used it overnight yet because, well, as I said earlier in the video, that we just use air conditioner a lot overnight. So, but this fan will get its uses after summer, because after summer's when we need cooling, because we have dogs who heat up a bit more than us. So fans will be on then. It'll probably get dusty. I really have no idea. The bearings in this thing are good as well. It also does have a receiver in the top canopy. Lumio told me that it doesn't really have a receiver, although it does, so I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe they're thinking of an AC model that's completely different. I have no idea. Either way, this is a spin down because it's quite unique, because it takes longer than a DC fan, I think. Normal DC fan. So, yeah, this Lumio has been a great fan for us so far, even though it hasn't really been used. But hopefully it continues to be okay for us. But yeah, I have a feeling this fan might catch some attention from a fair few viewers because it's quite different and unique, and it's not something you can really buy. So hopefully you enjoy this fan. Now we're on to the last ceiling fan that we have installed. The Clipsal has been replaced to this Brilliant Grace ceiling fan. This ceiling fan is pretty cool. It does a fair bit of things, but it's kind of just more of a standard DC ceiling fan. There's not really too much of a, like, special features or whatever compared to like that Lumio. However, it's still really good. My parents are happy with this fan. I actually bought it for them. I did feel bad about the Clipsal because it is junk, and I had no idea that it was being junk before we bought it. So what can you do? It's already got dust on it. I didn't even realise. It probably will need cleaning soon enough, but it looks like they're happy with it. It works well, and that's all I can really say. If you're in New South Wales or Queensland, I would not recommend this fan. It's because the light flickers because the power companies use ripple effects to control heavy loads. So it does affect this. Alright, what's it going to do? Okay. We're going to 2. Alright. Yeah, I'm still learning a little bit how to use this fan because it has an LCD display which does go off. So up and down are the actual... so down is going lower and up is going higher. 6 speeds. Left and right is dimming the light or brightening the light. Right now it's as bright as it can go. It's a lot brighter than the 2 times B22 LED globes that were here before. Also cool daylight. And you can technically change the LED oyster light, really, to be honest. Because it's not actually built into the fan. It's kind of like a separate thing. It is a plug and play module, so technically you probably should hire an electrician, but technically you could probably get away with swapping it. Alright, so that's low. How much air does it move? Gentle breeze, that's less than the Stanza in case anyone's wondering. Alright, speed 2, which is what it defaultly went to before. I think that's what Mum and Dad have been using it on, which makes sense because speed 2 is actually quite powerful if you're under it. Now, I can't actually feel anything over here, but if you're underneath it, you can. Which works well for our setup because it's right above the bed. That's where you'd want most of the airflow. But considering the pitch doesn't really work that well, I don't think, because you can't feel it outside the radius of the blades. Either way, that's moving really gentle breeze. But the thing I do like about this fan is that it can do the exact same as that bloody Clipsal can, but quieter. And it uses low power. Alright, speed 3. The LCD does go off itself, so you don't have to turn it off. There you go. There's no adjustment or anything needed for that. It just defaultly does that itself. The fan, you have to get an electrician to install it as per anything in Australia. But however, you will have to assemble the whole fan because it's actually in pieces. Like the lights taken off, everything's not assembled. The canopies, nothing. So you have to assemble everything. But the fan's well balanced, considering they were actually just thrown in there loosely in the box. Yes, that is actually true. But they're well balanced, I'll give it that. I think they're ABS plastic. There's the pitch, really big. I mean, I can feel kind of a draft here, but nothing really too much. Speed 4. I was going to get one of these for the spare room as well. However, Bunnings didn't have any. I had to actually order this one online. So, that's part of the problem. But now they're back in stock in Bunnings, of course. They come in whites as well, white or black, with or without light for both options. Which is good, because in case you want one without a light, you can buy one without a light. I don't know. I don't really know how to compare it to the Alec Boston in the lounge, because the Alec Boston and this, they both have their own benefits. So, like, I can feel the air where I am now. It's just that it has to be higher higher speed to feel the 12,000 cubic meters per hour. And also RPM is not listed of this fan, so I actually have no idea. For those wondering, I'm pretty sure the Alec Boston in the lounge is 220. Well, that's according to Alec, at least, anyway. No, I think that was 5, wasn't it? And 6, yeah. See, it's not a too fast of a fan. It could be... it could just be 210 RPM. I'm just taking a guess. I'm not entirely sure. The spin down of it is quite fast, though. However, it is just a more generic DC motor, I think. I'm going to turn the light off so we can look at it without the light on. It does slowly fade away, as you can see, which is pretty cool. It also has the cap to hide the screws, and same with the lower canopy, which I did show with the model sticker. Either way, there it is. There is the brilliant grey ceiling fan. I think this is the first video of one on YouTube, so... that's all the fans in our house, so... I'm just going to show the spin down, and then that will be all for the video. Okay, it looks like the bearings are worn in a bit more since I filmed the actual last video, which I did now publish because I was not happy with how long it was, and I bet this one will still be just as long. Yeah, the bearings are a little bit more worn in. It's a bit longer this time, so... Either way, that's the brilliant grey ceiling fan, and hopefully you enjoyed it, because this is the only video on YouTube, so I guess you could kind of take it as a review. It's not... None of these are paid reviews, and these are just my opinions of these fans. As I do collect fans, I must have an opinion on each and every one of them, so... Either way, thanks for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or anything else about the fans, please drop comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them.